Self-made millionaires have financial habits that the rest of people who are not millionaires do not. And no matter how much someone wants to become a millionaire, I mean, there are probably a lot of people who would not say no to the question, would you like to become a millionaire? But unless you know the habits that will get you there and start actively applying them in your life, you will not become one. Because there is a reason why right now approximately 1% of the world's population are millionaires and 99% of people are not. So let's take a look at 7 financial habits that self-made millionaires do differently. Now please note, becoming a millionaire is a process. It's not an event that happens overnight. I'm not a millionaire right now, but I do have a multiple 6-figure net worth that will make me a millionaire before retirement age. But I also want to speed up that process. That's why I'm applying everything I will share with you right now in this video. If we haven't met yet, I'm Sophia, a doctor from Germany. I love to talk about money, and I also love to share with you what I learned on my wealth building journey. So let's start with financial habit number 1. Millionaires, especially self-made millionaires, keep their costs very low, at least until they fit a certain threshold. And there is a story Graham Stephan told. Maybe you're familiar with him. He has the biggest finance channel here on YouTube. And he became a millionaire in his 20s, foremost with real estate. He explains that he learned about compound interest pretty early in his life. And he thought and understood that, wow, if I can invest as much money as possible right now, it will grow to an extent that I can't even imagine now in 20 to 30 years from now. So he understood the power of compound interest and of exponential growth, and that time is a component in the compound interest equation. So he started to put as much money as possible into his investments and kept his spending very, very low. And now he's a multimillionaire. Although the real compounded wealth does not even show right now, it will show in a decade or 2 decades or 3 decades from now. Because the other thing he focused on is to massively increase his income. So the earlier you start, the more you will benefit later on. So millionaires or people who want to become millionaires focus on keeping the costs in the beginning very low. That's why when you start listening, you will often hear that self-made millionaires spend less on their car, less on their homes, and less on their food than the average person. And as you can imagine, that requires a lot of financial discipline. You know, to invest all your money instead of living the life that everyone else does. And then only as of a certain net worth, that is maybe $500,000, maybe $1 million, maybe even more than that, they start to spend, and they also can spend more, because spending more does still mean that they are below their means. Financial habit number 2 is own equity. Naval, who is an entrepreneur and an investor, states in his famous Twitter, now X, thread, "You're not going to get rich renting out your time. You must own equity, a piece of a business, to gain your financial freedom." And there are many different ways to own equity. For one, you can start your own business. Most millionaires, and especially multi-millionaires, did that. That means the one who came out successfully. In this context, I would like to mention that the majority of businesses never reach $1 million per year in revenue. So simply building a business is far from a guarantee to become a millionaire, but the potential is there. Another way would be to invest into businesses directly. That's what Naval did as an angel investor. That requires a very good net worth and access to be able to invest in those kinds of businesses. It also requires quite an amount of capital, and it involves a lot of risk. But you can also just buy stocks, because by owning stocks or funds, you own a little piece of the business. And this is simple, it's accessible, and you don't need a lot of money to do that. And of course, other assets like real estate fall under this category of owning equity as well. Maybe you can think of it as owning something that has value to other people. If this has been helpful so far, would love if you could drop a like, because it helps out this channel tremendously. Thank you. Financial habit number 3 is spending the return. And this is one of the points from Robert Kiyosaki in his book Rich Dad Poor Dad. He writes, "A true luxury is a reward for investing in and developing a real asset. For example, when my wife Kim and I had extra money coming from our apartment houses, she went out and bought her Mercedes. That car now means a lot more to her than simply another pretty car. It means she used her financial intelligence to afford it." So a millionaire doesn't just spend money from his actively earned income, but he or she spends money from the income that was generated by their assets, so by passive income. Now, as you might have heard, the average millionaire has 7 different streams of income. And when you reach a point in your life where the income from your assets covers your lifestyle, you will have reached real financial independence or even financial freedom if the income pays for everything that you wish for in life. And at that point, work shifts from necessary to optional. Number 4 is money equals freedom. Millionaires and aspiring millionaires see money as something that gives them freedom. And I think this might be the biggest difference aside from applying the knowledge on how to build wealth, because most other people see money as something they have to work for, as a necessity, as a chore. Those might even be people who complain a lot, complain about their money situation, complain about other people's money situation. And it doesn't even have to mean that they're broke, just the way they see money. And then there are people who are good with money, and I think they see money as something that gives them security. So they might not have these huge aspirations, but they are content with their money situation and their overall situation in life. And for millionaires, money equals freedom. Freedom over their time, freedom over who they work with, freedom over how much time they can spend with their friends and family, and the freedom over how they live their life. And that's what drives them. Now, financial independence or financial freedom is not something you reach overnight. It's a process of continuous learning, establishing habits, and also tweaking the system. But one thing that you can reach quite fast, that means within a matter of weeks or within a matter of months, is financial security. Financial security is what I call your first step to wealth, and I have a free checklist of the 6 steps to financial security. If you want to find out if you're there, there's a link down below. Financial habit number 5 is know the direction. Self-made millionaires have clear goals. In order to reach a goal that high, a quick recap, about 1% of the world's population, in the US it's 6.6%, are millionaires. You need to have a goal and a plan to put into action to reach that goal. And that goal can either be to invent something extraordinary, or to serve a group of people, or to simply hit that financial goal to become a millionaire. So it doesn't even matter what it is, but there is a strong underlying purpose that acts like the North Star for those people, and then they have clear defined milestones on the way there. And one of my role models here on YouTube is Ali Abdal, who is a doctor like me, and he realized by asking his doctor teachers when he was still in university that almost all of them wished for more flexibility in their life and not having to keep working those hours just for the money. And that was one of the reasons that motivated him to reach that financial freedom, to have that flexibility in life. And he did that by creating passive income through his internet business, and that's what he's now doing full-time, and he's also become a multimillionaire. So the reasons will be different, but you will always find at least one strong emotional reason that drives them to action. Number 6 is understand the rules. Self-made millionaires and aspiring millionaires understand the rules of money, and one of them is that money is an exchange for value. You get paid according to how much value you bring into the market, and the market being other people. But that is not the only component. Also, how replaceable you are at your job determines how much you get paid. For example, I would say that getting your house cleaned is a lot of value for some people, because that is time that they can instead spend for other things. But cleaning a house doesn't require complex skills, so the person doing it is quite replaceable by other people, and that's why it's not a high-paying job. And then there are some rules that stay the same, like understanding compound interest, understanding that investing is important in order to use compound interest, and other rules also change. So millionaires understand that they can never stop learning and growing. That's why they invest in themselves as well, in their personal development and in, developing new skills. Alex Hormozi, very successful entrepreneur, calls this skill stacking. He says the more different skills you put into your pocket or you learn, the more valuable you become, the more value you can bring to a certain market, because these skills also compound. I will link the interview down below if you're interested. And financial habit number 7 is proper risk management. Millionaires don't go into debt unnecessarily. And by unnecessary debt, I mean debt that doesn't bring a return later on. So credit card debt for furniture or vacation or clothes falls under that category. Maybe even a loan for a car if it's not necessary in order to, build the skills or earn your money. Instead, what millionaires do is they take calculated risks. That might mean go into necessary debt. So for example, taking on a loan to grow your business, or to invest into a property, or, for something that will grow in value later on and generate income in the future. They also take calculated risks with their investment because they understand the relationship between risk and return. The higher the risk, the higher the potential return, and the lower the risk, the lower the return. So my bet is that the majority of millionaires will not have held everything in cash in their wealth building phase because they know that doesn't grow their wealth. And they also take calculated risks in their career by either building their own business or by taking the necessary steps in their jobs. And again, I want to emphasize that it doesn't take your own business to become a millionaire, not even if you want to get there fast. There are people in either big companies or small, fast-growing companies or just companies that pay extraordinarily good. So there is also the possibility of becoming a millionaire fast when employed. And if you are interested in the 4 ways of becoming a millionaire, I made a video about that. I call it the Millionaire Matrix. I will link it for you here. Thank you for watching this far. I hope you got some value out of this. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.